Hey guys, it's Wednesday and it's time for the 5 for 5. I hope your week has gone well so far. Now, some of you might not know, but we have an informal pickup soccer game every Sunday afternoon on the islands, and it's open to anyone of any age and any skill level. We're there basically to get exercise, to enjoy a game that we love, and we don't even keep score. It's that kind of game, right? It's just meant to be fun. And one thing that can ruin a time of fun quickly is a stinky penny. Now, pennies are the mesh shirts that we put over our clothes so we know who's on each team, right? It helps us delineate which sides of the field we play on. And I've played enough sports in my time to know that a smelly penny can turn a fun afternoon into a 2-hour dry heaving session if you're not careful. And since I'm in charge of the gear for this soccer thing, I need to make sure that the pennies, I try to keep them as clean as I can. And this past Sunday, I went straight home actually and had the kids pick up lunch so I could have time to wash and dry the pennies. When I pulled the bag out of the garage, I could already tell it was past due, and I grabbed the pennies out of the bag, and I put them in the washer. Man, my stomach, it jumped a few times at the smell. I even had to wash my hands a couple times after loading the washer just to get the stink off of them. It was pretty bad. But when the teams put the pennies on Sunday, there was a hit with this just beautiful smell. It was pleasant. It was newly laundered pennies. It was a great start. Now, the weather wasn't hot Sunday, and we had a fun game, but near the end, the sprinklers came on like they often do, and most everyone stayed away from the sprinklers, but a few people thought it would be fun to run through those sprinklers. Now, I didn't think anything else about it until Tuesday morning when I was helping Rylan pack up his soccer gear for practice and noticed there was a different stink in the garage that morning. Not the normal soccer stink that we always have because of our kids playing soccer. In my bag of recently washed and fresh-smelling pennies, someone had thrown a soaking wet penny from the sprinklers. And it wasn't the normal smell. This was like mildew. It was gross. So after I got Rylan packed up, I had to start another load of clothes to rewash all the pennies that I'd washed the Sunday before. It's amazing the impact that one stinky penny can have on the other 40 that are in the bag. As I was starting the laundry, I thought about the spiritual connection of that moment as well, how easily one small thing can ruin the big picture. This isn't a groundbreaking revelation, though. This isn't great Eric news. Paul actually uses an illustration like this a couple of different times in his letters. 1 Corinthians 5, 6, and 7 says, "Your boasting is not good. Do you not know that a little leaven leavens the whole lump? Cleanse out the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, as you really are unleavened." You know, he says something similar in Galatians 5, if you want to check that out too. And unless you're a bread baker, you might not understand this illustration. What Paul is saying is that the smallest bit of yeast in a lump of dough will quickly overtake the entire lump of dough. If you want unleavened bread, you can't let even the smallest hint of yeast into the mix. So to keep my pennies from smelling horrible, I had to wash them. But then that one stinking wet penny snuck in and it mildewed the whole bag. The connection to our lives is pretty obvious. Any sin at all that's left in our lives will ruin the entirety of things. We can't hold on to that comfort sin that we really, really like if we're pursuing Jesus. That sin, regardless of the size or the visibility of it, is going to ruin the entirety of your pursuit. We have to be sure that our lives are fully confessed and surrendered to Jesus if we want to see the growth in our faith and we want to see a changed heart. We can't keep a little bit of sin in our lives and expect it to stay confined to that one area, right? Sin just doesn't work like that. Sin is a lot like yeast. The smallest amount is going to quickly grow and overtake the entire dough. We may think that we can keep it in check, guys, but we're only fooling ourselves. So just like I had to do on Tuesday morning, we need to pull out the dirty pennies, throw them in the wash, and then make sure that there's nothing left lingering behind. We have to separate ourselves from sin with the help of the Holy Spirit to experience the kind of life that Jesus intends for us to experience. So guys, as you go through the rest of your week, be mindful of what you let into your life. When you catch that whiff, that stink of sin, guys, turn that over to God so that it doesn't ruin the rest of what he's doing in your life that week. Guys, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you real soon.